Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to show you why mud fossils are a real thing, mainstream science is ignoring the evidence, and things can be petrified and fossilized that is currently not being recognized by mainstream paleontology and archaeology. And let me start by explaining something. There was a gentleman who learned how to petrify flesh in a short amount of time. His name was Gilarmo Sagata, born June 13th, 1792, died February 3rd, 1836. He was born in an Italian monastery in northern Italy, third of 13 children, and there he started learning the elementary principles of botany, chemistry, mineralogy, and he would eventually become an accomplished naturalist and an anatomist. Now here's where it gets interesting. He tried to continue his studies, but his parents were by no means wealthy, accused him of being an ungrateful parasite, and urged him to get a job. To extend his knowledge without having to rely on family support, he participated in several archaeological expeditions in North Africa as a cartographist. He ended up in Egypt by chance, but once there he became a full-fledged Egyptomaniac, developing a deep interest in mummification techniques and also, oddly enough, in ancient Egyptian music. He was a bit of a maverick, and he once asked to be lowered into a well in the largest step pyramid in Abu Sir, northern of Saqqara, where he stayed for 3 days. He was bitten by a snake while he was sleeping in an ancient Egyptian burying site. Sounds very similar to how I got my Morgellons, by getting bit by an invisible snake. And he also carved his name on a stone in a temple of Dendor. An ill-behaved 5th grader would do. Apparently that was the custom back then. And somehow he was inspired to learn how to mummify, to petrify flesh. And some of his work is still available in museums in Italy. So he learned an ancient Egyptian technique for turning human flesh into stone. And unfortunately his notes all died with him, so nobody knows how he did it, but he was inspired because he slept in an Egyptian tomb and got bit by a snake. That is very interesting information, because I too got bit by a snake that I did not see and developed this Morgellons shortly thereafter. Now I'm going to show you some of the things that can be petrified that people are not expecting will be petrified. And so mainstream science is ignoring the evidence. Here we go. Start by looking at this thing right here. It's a solid piece of wood. Solid stone. You can see it has bark. It's been cut long ago. It has images on it, including these right here and that one. Pretty amazing, actually. Look at that. I gotta be honest, this item reminds me of one of those boats that they used to have in ancient Iraq and Samaria. They were sort of round boats that they would float down the river, and it looks kind of like one of those. So that's one thing. Let's look at a couple other things. Here's another piece of wood. Okay. Solid cut chunk of wood, solid stone. Okay, very similar to this one. Still got the bark on it. See the bark? Yeah, that's the bark. And solid stone. Okay, so petrified wood is cool, but I've got some other things that are even cooler. Okay, here we go. Oh, before we get to the other stuff, one more piece of petrified wood. Take a look at this one. Okay. Okay, that was the last piece of wood. Now we're going to get on to some good stuff. Take a look at this stuff. This I like that one, huh? An egg. Okay. Here's another egg. See this? This is probably a turtle egg, if anything. If it's actually an egg. But it looks like it has a shell. And turtles have soft shells in their eggs, so that's my best guess on that one. But then we get down to some other stuff. Look at this. This, see that claw? Okay, so that I think is like a bird's leg with a little claw hanging out, and somebody declawed it. They probably used the claws for something else, and this is what's left of it, totally petrified. Let's take a look at some more stuff. How about this? Have you ever seen a petrified brain? Well, you're about to. Look at that. Petrified. Yeah, petrified brain. Now, let me show you a couple more things real quick. That one I believe is either a tongue or an ear of a pig. Now, here's something. Look at that. best I can tell, this is like a slab of bacon. A big slab of bacon is what I think this is. See? It's even got skin on it. Skin on the top. Skin on the bottom. Petrified slab of bacon. Perhaps. That's what it looks like to me. We also have, check this out. Look. It has 3 layers. Okay. Leather. This is leather. A leather belt. Solid stone. Yeah. Look at that. Who's that guy? Wow. Yep. That's a leather belt. Solid stone. And here's another one. Look at the size of that. See that? That, my friends, is a piece of leather strap that has turned to solid stone. And there's more, but that's all I have for now. I don't want to run out of time. So the point is, many things can be petrified, and many of the things that are artifacts are currently being ignored by modern mainstream science. And in that sense, Roger over at Mud Fossil University, I'm not trying to call it out, but he's the one who coined the term mud fossils, which is exactly what they are. They are mud fossils. And the white stones that are bones, you know, it's pretty obvious. So mainstream science is ignoring this evidence. They need to catch up. We're way ahead of them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.